Today's reading is Jax from the Sexypedia Wiki. Source content warning. While not covered in this entry, the source material deals with potentially disturbing subject matter. If you find it interesting but are disturbed by the following topics, disassociation, loss of sanity, trauma, vomiting, and more can be found on Gooseworks' Twitter page. Please check an in-depth list of content warnings, the wiki recommends doesthedogdie.com, before interacting with it and proceed with caution. Spoilers ahead! This article contains major spoilers about this sexy person and/or their source material. Please proceed with caution. Jax is one of the main characters in the Glitch Productions series The Amazing Digital Circus. Upon his introduction video, he immediately became a sexy man, despite the show being released the day this page on the old fandom wiki, RIP, was created. His class is Tiamat, and his source is The Amazing Digital Circus. Basic information. Jax is one of the human souls trapped in the in-universe game The Amazing Digital Circus, assuming the form of a purple anthropomorphic rabbit in overalls. More info can be found on the Amazing Digital Circus wiki. Archetypes. Fourth wall blurring. Played with. When Pomni first arrives and thinks the circus is a dream, Jax looks at the camera and mocks her, which Ragatha notices and is confused by, as well as destroying a spare graphic that comes up after running into some bowling pin-shaped gloinks. In episode 3, he directly asks the viewer a question, which is lampshaded by the other characters, and in episode 6, he directly confirms he breaks the fourth wall because it's funny. Angst/mysterious. Jax's backstory is still a mystery, but it's implied there's a ton of angst. That angst is often expanded upon in fanworks, often featuring Kaufmo and Ribbit, two of the abstracted circus members who are implied to be his friends. Anthro/non-human. Jax is an anthropomorphic digital rabbit. Since episode 6, he sports a round tail. Bait. He was given plenty of merch right out the gate, showing that his high popularity in juxtaposition to the other characters was likely no coincidence. However, Gooseworks has stated that she simply designed him to appeal to her own tastes, rather than trying to bait her audience. Despite this, however, moments such as Jax being thrown into a maid outfit in episode 5, Untitled, may or may not have thrown this thought right out the window. Chaos Lord/Deadpan Snarker. The one thing Jax gets the most joy out of is tormenting Gangle and everyone else. But mostly Gangle. Controversial. After episode 1, the fandom as a whole saw him as a lovable asshole, but he also had a sizable hate base. Fandom opinion of him changed after the release of episode 2, which emphasized his more abusive and sadistic traits more heavily. For some reason, the fandom flipped on him and claimed that he changed when these traits were present from the start. People say he's annoying, unfunny, Tumblr sexy man bait, just plain mean and unlikable, pretty much every insult you'd expect to be thrown at him. Furthermore, he's also been accused of being the cause of abstractions alongside Kane. Distinctive voice. Jax is played by Michael Kovac, and you can definitely hear a bit of influence from another sexy man he played creep through. Egotistical. Jax's personality can best be described as thinking he's better than everyone else and using that to screw with people. Eye imagery. As is typical with Gooseworks characters, Jax's eyes are quite special. During his crash out in episode 6, his pupils change a lot in size and shape, implying that their look reflects his mental state and/if he's masking his emotions. Glove guy. Wears yellow gloves. Morally gray. Definitely the most openly hostile of the main cast, but potentially has a soft spot for them. Neurodivergent coded. While not confirmed, Jax's personality closely aligns with most of the symptoms typically associated with antisocial personality disorder. Perpetual smiler. Jax's mouth isn't open when he talks, leaving him grinning 99% of the time. Retro. Like the rest of the show, Jax is inspired by 90s CGI games/shows, namely stretchy/rubber toys. Tall/thin. Has been described as looking like a bendy toy by multiple people. Uniform. Jax wears pink overalls. He gets put into a fast food employee uniform in Fast Food Masquerade as required for said episode's adventure, though it's not his first time as months prior to his release. He's seen wearing the same outfit in the short Pomni Wake Up, Time to Go on an Adventure as Kane rattles on to Pomni about what adventures will follow past the pilot. Fanon tropes. Elsagate. Despite The Amazing Digital Circus being a series not made with kids in mind, it still attracts a lot of kids thanks to the show's colorful aesthetic, official TV PG rating notwithstanding. Content farmers will do anything to get that sweet, sweet grub, and that means keeping a close look on what the fandom loves to produce. A lot of Jack's sexy manification included, whether it be unauthorized AI comic dubs, bizarre animations, or literally anything else. Jax's popularity makes him the main man of choice in a lot of these videos. Strangely enough, not even the fan-made characters based on Jax featured in these content farms are immune to sex humanification, a la Purple Girl, as seen with Jax's evil twin sister, created by notable content farm channel chain Hornstromp, who became incredibly popular within the Digital Circus fandom thanks to her design. Johnlocked is frequently shipped with both Pomni, Funny Bunny, Ragatha, Bunny Doll, and Gangle, Ribbon. LGBTQ+ coded / oncerization / fan and splintering / theme song. Since the show's origins, there have been a ton of references to Jax's masculinity. At first, it seemed to only be a joke, but it ended up being featured inside the show itself as, apparently, one of Jax's insecurities. At some point in development, Jax was even considered to be made a female character. Since episode 6 and Pomni and Jax's duet where they sing Daisy Bell, a movement was born where it is believed, either jokingly or seriously, that Jax is trans-feminine, and is usually named Daisy. Many times, she's shipped with Pomni in a ship also named Daisy. Right before the release of episode 7, Explosion and Bon Bon Films released a parody song named The Jax Song Official, about a palette-shifted version of Jax named Thomas, who ends up developing a closeted and unfulfilled lifelong gay longing for Jax after both sleep in the same bed as friends. Of course, the two got shipped, and he was even acknowledged by the voice actors as process of Jax's oncerization. Subverted tropes. Quotable catchphrase. Subverted / parodied. One of the first pieces of merch for the show is a shirt with Jax saying, "You go girl," which is noted in the item description as a comfy sweater featuring the classic line that Jax definitely said during the pilot.